Hi guys, welcome back. Another video for you. This one is on the acronym FITT. It's all about frequency, intensity, time, and type. Now, once you know how to use and manipulate these four factors, it's going to help you plan and structure your classes to help your students. I actually borrowed this from the fitness industry and adapted it to help you and to help myself. So guys, check it out and we'll see you at the end.
Welcome! Today we are going to be looking at some principles or an idea which I believe will help you help your students learn a new language. Now, before I get into it, I would like to explain that before becoming a teacher, I spent about a decade working in the health and fitness industry. Now, during this time, I had the opportunity to work with a host of great trainers and learn many important lessons about self-improvement and achieving goals. One of the most important lessons I learned was the FITT principle. This principle is regarded as one of the foundations of exercise prescription and offers a set of guidelines to help trainers tailor workouts to suit the needs, goals, and fitness levels of their clients. Now, after spending a great deal of time, several years actually, researching how people learn a second language, I've come to the conclusion that this principle is also highly applicable to the world of language learning. In terms of pedagogy, the FITT principle covers arguably the four most important factors that need to be considered when designing and implementing a study plan. The four factors to remember are frequency, intensity, time, and type. This principle is also very easy to manipulate and understand, and is highly compatible with what the literature says about second language learning and acquisition. So, let's take a closer look at each factor and see how we can apply them to our teaching and within our classes. First of all, frequency. The role of frequency in language learning cannot be overstated. It affects everything from a baby's first word to how quickly we learn vocabulary and grammar points. Therefore, the way frequency can be manipulated to help a student should be carefully considered when implementing a study plan. First, studying every day for shorter periods has been proven to be more effective than cramming all of your study into one marathon session. Secondly, the more frequently we are exposed to words and structures, the sooner we become familiar and skilled at using them. Finally, when considering how to manipulate frequency, the teacher should remember that frequent exposure to the target language is of paramount importance regardless of how much the student understands. Let's now look at intensity. In the gym, intensity might refer to how heavy a weight is, or how hard a workout is. In language learning or language education, intensity might best be described as the level or difficulty. In short, it is best that a student is working at a level that is just beyond their current level of comprehension. The perfect level in most cases, not in all cases, but in most cases, would be a level that Krashen calls I+1, or this is where I represents the input, and the +1 means input a little bit higher, a little bit more challenging than the student's current level. This level allows a student to comprehend much of the material, but is still challenging enough so the student does not get bored. At this level, a student should be encouraged to use what they already know to help them figure out the meanings of any new words, phrases, or structures. If the teacher selects the correct intensity, then the student's motivation should remain high, as they are continually seeing success and improvement as they figure out new words, phrases, and structures on their own. Remember, a teacher's role is not to spoon-feed the student. A teacher's role is to encourage the student to actively participate and try and figure out what the material being presented means. By selecting the correct level and allowing the student to actively engage in figuring out meanings, the student will make stronger neural connections and have a greater chance of retaining the information presented. Finally, when manipulating intensity, a teacher should take into account the varying levels of all macro language skills, reading, writing, speaking, and listening, and adjust each exercise to suit the level of the student. Now let's take a look at time. Now time is, well, it's arguably the easiest one. The more time you spend studying, the better results you will get. However, this simple answer does not address the issues of how to best utilize your time. Focus study or passive study, on strengths or on weaknesses, etc. It also doesn't look at how to manage any time constraints that a student may have. For example, they may have work or family commitments. I would also suggest that the way we use time, we must also understand the difference between focused learning and language acquisition. And I do a lecture or a talk on that, so make sure you check that out because that will help you manipulate the study plans of your students. Now, in regards to time constraints, it might be advisable for you, the teacher, to have an array of study methods that you can draw from to address limitations of various students and various time durations. Here are 3 easy examples for you. First of all, flashcards. Flashcards can be carried around with you and reviewed at regular intervals during the day. This might be a 1 or 2 minute exercise of active study because you're actively trying to learn and focus on the words. Second, you might watch or listen to a video clip while commuting. You might be on the train or on the bus. This activity could be anywhere between 10 minutes and 30 minutes. It could be passive, where you're just watching for enjoyment, or it could be active, where you're really trying to focus on picking up new words and new phrases. Here you might use captions so you can see the words as they're being said. And finally, I really like this one personally, reading before bed. Now this could be, again, anywhere from 10 minutes to an hour. And it could be active, where you're looking up the new vocabulary, or it could be passive, where you're just reading for enjoyment. These are just a few ideas, guys. My point is, you need to have an array of ideas to help your students manage their time effectively and reach their language learning goals sooner. Now let's look at the final factor, and this is type. Now, just like a personal trainer prescribes different exercises or activities to accomplish different fitness goals, e.g., yoga for flexibility or weight training for strength, or swimming to increase lung capacity, a teacher must look at each individual component of language, reading, writing, speaking, listening, intonation, culture, etc. And you must ensure the student is learning in a well-rounded way. If you really enjoy writing and your student really enjoys writing, now that's great. You can help your student improve their writing. But if you're neglecting speaking, or you're neglecting intonation, or you're neglecting other factors, then this is probably not the best approach. So my point is, each skill needs attention. So remember to keep these 4 factors in mind when you're developing your student study plans: frequency, intensity, time, and type. Guys, I hope you find this helpful. I hope that you can use this in your classes. And as always, add your own ideas to this as well and really think about it. Maybe you disagree with something I say, and that's absolutely fine. As long as you're justifying the way you are teaching and it is based on some sort of research, or maybe you've done something that worked for you, I think that's great as well. Guys, thanks. We'll see you next time.
So there we have it, guys. Frequency, intensity, time, and type. Frequency. Try and encourage your students to study every day, even a few times a day. In the morning, maybe on a lunch break, and at night. Then we've got intensity. This is, we talked about Krashen and his level. You want to understand most of the content, but just challenge just a little bit harder than their current level. Time. 1 hour is better than 5 minutes. 2 hours is better than 1 hour. That's very simple. But we saw some little tools you can use. So example, you've only got 2 minutes. Take some flashcards. Take them out of your pocket. You've got 2 minutes sitting on the bus. Use it. 2 minutes, you can do something to improve your English. And type. Some people love speaking. I love speaking. Some people love listening. Listening, reading, writing, grammar. What are the skills? So manipulate all four and you can have some great classes. Guys, keep English real. Thank you.